My granddad, he said, why don't they keep getting them to go for water? I said, you know what?
Grab my bike, jump in my car, head for Western Air. Undercraft that's over there. They say it's bigger and better, sweeter and harder, lively and merrier, celebrating, having fun. Oh my Andres, here I come. Oh yeah. See how to welcome you, they care for you, make you feel at home. Lovely people.
Tonight, a Chinese restaurant reopens following some alarming findings. Also, investigations continue into the death of a Bahamian teen in Panama. And later, political mudslinging at an all-time high as elections heat up. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, a Chinese restaurant that was shut down by health officials for serious sanitary violations is back open tonight after what authorities described as corrective actions that were taken to address the multiple infractions. Our Jose Etienne joining me live in studio with the latest on the restaurant's opening and what health inspectors are now saying about the return. Jose?
Well, Janaea, the Golden Treasure Chinese restaurant is back in business after being forced to shut its doors back in September after food inspectors made some troubling discoveries. It's a story we broke weeks back that sparked widespread concern after we shared the litany of concerns that forced officials to take action: animals on property, poor kitchen sanitation, and foul odor, among other issues.
That business did meet the requirements to open their doors again.
That seems to wrap up an investigation into the Farrington Road restaurant, which landed under scathing scrutiny over health and safety concerns. But the underlying issue here is enforcement. But Dr. Patricia Johnson, Director of Food Safety and Quality, says officials made the right call.
We want our consumers to be assured and have the confidence that these businesses are doing what they need to do to make sure that when they eat, they're not going to have a foodborne illness, or something even worse happen to them.
Let's address the elephant in the room. How often will inspectors pay a visit to this eatery to ensure its operators stay in line? That remains to be seen, as it seems to hinge on consumers speaking out.
If there is a complaint, we may go back. We have three types of inspections. We have the complaints, we have the annual, we have routine. So what we want to do is we want to get those complaints out of the way, and we want to get those annuals out of the way. So we encourage people to register to get their annual inspection done. And of course, when the complaints come in, we work on those as well.
The Chinese restaurant is just one of several businesses that were dealt with by food inspectors who say they're carrying out an aggressive inspection exercise.
It's probably under 10. It's not anything more than that. But we would have inspected at least between 30 to 50 businesses. And like I said, it's a slow process.
Conch salad vendors are also on inspectors' radar.
Conch salad stands have been really an issue. What we have done, besides creating a lot of information pamphlets and making that available to vendors, when we go out on the road, and there are a lot of food businesses, there's over between 4,000 and 6,000, so of course it's a slow process. But whenever we go out, if the team has time, they do what we call a registration drive to get these businesses to register with us.
Now, Janaea, attempts to speak with the restaurant's operators were not successful, but while they've reopened, it remains to be seen whether that investigation could have caused sales to plummet. For now, back to you.
Thanks so much, our Jose Etienne, joining us live in studio tonight. Well, on to another big story. An investigation is underway into the death of a 16-year-old Madeline Thompson, a student at the St. Augustine's College. She died in Panama over the weekend. And while Bahamian authorities have not released anything official on the death, Panamanian officials say foul play has been ruled out. Our Laurentia Smith has the details tonight.
Details surrounding the death of 16-year-old Madeline Thompson remains unclear. This after a suspected Panamanian news outlet reported that the teen fell to her death from the 27th floor balcony to the 12th floor. Authorities, however, remain tight-lipped on the death. Meantime, the tragedy leaves more questions than answers tonight, as officials say best efforts are being made to have the St. Augustine's College student body return home. She was representing the country at the first Global Robotic Challenge.
So in contact with our honorary council in Panama, who's spoken with Panamanian officials and who's spoken with the family.
Director General Ali within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs providing the media with the latest details, saying the ministry is working closely with event organizers and Panamanian authorities. Young Madeline was a parishioner here at St. Joseph Roman Catholic Church. She was described by the pastoral team as a kind-hearted individual who volunteered every Saturday in the church's soup kitchen. Now, yesterday, Mass was offered in her honor by Monsignor Alfred Culmer.
I was able to pray with her mother on Saturday in Panama, Shanique, and so we offer the Mass today for the family.
Ali did not provide a timeline for when Thompson's body will return to the country. She says she wants the public to know that the ministry is doing their best to assist the family while respecting them during this difficult time. She also emphasized that there is a due process that must be followed.
We have a death of a Bahamian national or somebody who's hospitalized. We go through official channels, so we go government to government, and we have strong ties with Panama. So in this case, it's easier. Sometimes it's more difficult when we don't have representation.
Now, the student body of St. Augustine's College held grief counseling sessions on Monday. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis and his wife Anne also offering their condolences following the death of Madeline Thompson. In a statement, the Prime Minister said he and his wife are, quote, heartbroken over the loss of the bright and beloved student whose life ended far too soon. They extended condolences to her parents, Jerome and Shanique Thompson, along with her other family members, friends, classmates, and teachers, saying they can only imagine the pain and grief they're enduring at this time. Prime Minister Philip Davis going on to say that her memory should stand as a reminder of the goodness and promise that define the best of Bahamian youth. Moving on to news from the crime beat tonight, police in Grand Bahama taking a 41-year-old male into custody tonight in connection with an alleged sexual assault that occurred early Sunday morning. According to reports, it was shortly before 2 when a woman was inside a vehicle with a man whom she had recently met at an establishment on Settlers Way, according to police, when she was allegedly assaulted. Police later arresting the suspect, who remains in custody as investigations continue tonight. Meantime, the United Nations condemning a series of U.S. airstrikes on boats in the Caribbean and Pacific, calling it a violation of international human rights laws. Devontae Hanna in studio tonight with the latest. Devontae?
Well, Janea, since September, more than 60 people have been killed in what has been described as vicious attacks carried out by the United States Armed Forces against boats allegedly linked to drug trafficking. Tonight, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, is describing the strikes as, quote, unjustified and unacceptable, urging the United States to halt such attacks and to prevent any further extrajudicial killings. The latest being this weekend, killing 4. The United States has defended its actions as counter-drug and counter-terrorism operations, but Turk says such efforts should be governed by international human rights law, which only permits the use of lethal force as a last resort. Now, he added that based on available information, none of the targeted individuals appeared to pose an imminent threat justifying deadly force. The Bahamian government, though, has been widely mum on the matter, only leaving National Security Minister Wayne Munro to encourage Bahamians to stay out of Venezuelan waters and to not deal drugs, while CARICOM called for the region to remain a zone of peace. Trump's strikes have even sparked protests in Grenada. Well, the High Commissioner is calling for an independent and transparent investigation into the strikes and for the United States to handle drug interceptions through lawful means and due process. Reporting live in studio, I'm Devontae Hanna. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Devontae. Meantime, the St. Anne's MP, Adrian White, facing public scrutiny after a video circulating online went viral. The footage, drawing some mixed reaction tonight, with some calling it troubling, while others dismissing it as overblown. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. also joining me live in studio with the details. Linton?
Janea, officials and supporters alike are weighing in as the debate intensifies surrounding the do's and don'ts of political mudslinging as the temperature in the political arena heats up. Here's the video that sparked the debate.
Movement Member of Parliament Adrian White under fire after he stepped on and dusted the dirt off of his shoes onto a Progressive Liberal Party poster on Friday amid celebrations of the Golden Isles by-election nomination day. Critics across social media sounding off, questioning if the sitting MP actions were appropriate and warranted, and others noting it's simply disrespectful. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands acknowledging the criticism, but emphasizing with the current political climate at an all-time high, the narrative can be spun, creating political mischief.
This was something that was on the ground. He made an issue of stepping on it. There certainly was no vandalism involved.
Now, it's not the first time White has found himself under heavy criticism in recent times. Back in April, on a local talk show, White deemed F&M voters as, quote, sensible, citing every constituency has voted F&M except for Angliston. Hannah Martin emphasized persons in the inner city constituency, which she represents, were offended and took it as they were not sensible. White sought to set the record straight, making it clear, quote, those were not my thoughts. White has not been the only political figure to find himself at the center of controversial actions. Back in 2012, then Prime Minister Perry Christie displayed a derogatory hand gesture, and recently leader of Coalition of Independents Lincoln Bean apologizing after publicly throwing out accusations against the character of F&M leader Michael Pintard. Chiming in, a reported front-runner for the Progressive Liberal Party candidacy for St. Anne's, Keno Wong, denouncing White's actions.
He sits in the halls of Parliament. He has demonstrated his cowardness by walking and stamping and using it as a what? A doormat.
The political hopeful telling Eyewitness News his choice to speak out is not for political brownie points, but to simply address the actions of those who were elected to serve.
It's not just a political aspiration situation. It is based on the integrity of an individual that we put in the halls of Parliament.
Previous PLP St. Anne's candidate Chris Saunders, whom White defeated, also condemning his actions in a Facebook post, calling it childish. Now, while Sands dodged Eyewitness News questions on if he believes White is right or wrong, he sent this message to his political colleagues.
We're not enemies. We're all being, we ought to be looking for common ground.
Now, Janea, we did attempt to reach out to White for a possible comment, maybe an apology if he sees his actions as offensive. But up to news time, we were unable to receive comment. For now, it's a story we are continuing to follow. Reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk, Janea.
Thanks so much, our Linton Ritchie Jr. joining us live in studio tonight. We also apologize for that lewd gesture that was shown. Well, still talking politics tonight, the Davis administration facing pressure as political commentators say recent efforts in a constituency the governing party is hoping to keep on its side highlight how officials weaponize elections. This as the party's candidate also seeming to imply that those residents were in dire need of representation. Our Jose Etienne has more on this tonight.
I am running because I am tired of people being ignored. That is why I'm running. I am tired of people calling for help and getting excuses.
Critics argue that the governing Progressive Liberal Party's by-election candidate, Darren Pickstock, was biting the hand that feeds him as he addressed scores of party supporters last week on nomination day.
I am tired of seeing our communities wait years for the simple things. A fixed street light, a paved road.
Perhaps the expectation was for Pickstock to laud the governing party's work while promising to build on what was laid out. But not only did he speak candidly, according to a PLP press release, he also spoke from a standpoint of accountability and responsibility. Critics might go as far as saying, though, that he inadvertently threw Golden Isles' former Member of Parliament, Vaughn Miller, under the bus as residents have long expressed concerns about unmet expectations and neglect that now cast a shadow on Miller's legacy.
For residents, it would be hard to not see the roads that have been recently paved in the area as a campaign pitch with a by-election on the horizon. Nonetheless, the candidate wants to prove why he says he's the right pick.
Next 24 days are everything. We've got to move like a family, like a team, Golden Isles. Every call you make, every door you knock on Golden Isles, every conversation you have, Golden Isles, it matters. That's how we're going to win this thing, Golden Isles.
But another overarching concern here is whether the Davis administration is weaponizing the upcoming by-election by using government machinery as a campaign tool, and whether the ongoing infrastructural improvements in Golden Isles could be scrapped if an opposition candidate wins.
We all remember what came before: neglect, stagnation, and cuts the program that were helping Bahamians. The other side stopped, they reviewed, and they canceled, and the Bahamian families paid the price. We cannot afford to turn back now.
Those are relevant questions, given how the country's leaders spoke during the 2023 by-election, which ultimately swung in government's favor. Perhaps a scare tactic against the electorate.
Well, they should vote for him because, first of all, they'll not be voting for a voice that will be in opposition. They'll be voting for a voice that will have the ear of the government.
We want to work and support the people of West Grand Bahama, and they need an advocate that can call any minister of the government and have their phone answer on the first ring.
The by-election is expected to go down to the wire. The FNM's candidate, Brian Brown, is campaigning on his continued presence in the area despite losing in the 2021 general election. Pickstock is promising to address years of inaction with the support of government, and the coalition of independents is looking to take down both major parties. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, as political tension heats up in the Golden Isles constituency ahead of the upcoming by-election, Free National Movement candidate Brian Brown on nomination day called out what he says are tricks by the governing Progressive Liberal Party. He criticized the timing of recent projects being undertaken in the constituency, noting that it's a cry Golden Isles residents had for years now. So why now?
Now the PLP hopes you will forget all of that. They pick someone of thin air. Someone who doesn't live here, doesn't know our struggle, and won't change a thing.
Amen.
He ain't loyal to Golden Isles.
No, sir.
He's loyal to Philip Davis and the PLP.
Yes.
He's just looking for his opportunity. He is campaigning straight from the PLP playbook. He show up before an election, pay a few roads, hang out for a few contracts, take a few pictures, and hope you forget their bad ways. The devil is a liar. Golden Isles is not for sale.
Brown pleading his case to the electorate, noting that from his view, the option is clear for who would be the best representation, citing his portfolio and priorities for the community.
I don't slap up. I work.
Amen.
And I have a plan.
Yes, sir.
When you send me to Parliament, I'll fight every single day to make life easy for families in Golden Isles.
Yes.
I'll push for better infrastructure,
Yes.
safer roads,
Yes.
reliable drainage,
Yes.
proper street lighting.
Yes.
I'll champion small business
Yes.
as we create real jobs right here at home.
Yes.
I will work with our police. I will work with our churches and civil society groups to make Golden Isles safer for our children and families.
Yes, sir.
And I'll fight for better health care, education, and the social support. Not just for some, but for everyone.
Still talking news from the political arena tonight, Bahamas Constitution Party leader Ali McIntosh is slamming reports that the Boundaries Commission wants to add 2 new parliamentary seats, bringing the total to 41. She says Bahamians need, quote, more productivity and not more politicians. Government has yet to confirm if it will accept that recommendation. Eyewitness News asking on social media, do you think adding more seats to Parliament is necessary right now? 9% of participants voting yes to ensure fair representation, while some 89% of voters voting no. Parliament is already large enough, and 2% who participated voted that you were unsure. Well, be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls because your voice matters. Meantime, residents in the Chippenham area, they sprang into action early Monday morning, extinguishing a blaze before it could spread to nearby homes after gunfire erupted on Flamingo Avenue. According to police, the incident, which is believed to be a case of arson and property damage, occurred shortly after 1 a.m. when Spot Shorter technology detected gunshots in the area. When officers arrived, they found a vehicle with fire and a suspected bullet damage parked outside a residence. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The residents were quick to respond and prevented further harm. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing as they work to determine the exact cause of the fire and identify those who may be responsible. Well, months after 2 Bahamian men were killed in Haiti allegedly during a drug trafficking operation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs officials say they're communicating with Haitian authorities to hopefully bring the bodies of those slain men home. Recently, in an interview with Eyewitness News, family members say they've done all they could to have the bodies of Shadrach Stewart and Joey Russell brought back home, but they allege that communication with Bahamian and international officials have not been successful.
I can say that if anyone calls me, 24 hours a day, I answer. But I appreciate the level of frustration. In my family, we've had some cases of consular emergencies, and it can be frustrating waiting for official responses. But we take it very seriously. Haiti is a unique situation. It has a security situation, and now there's a situation post-Hurricane Melissa. But I can say I'm in contact with my counterparts, and we have an embassy in Port-au-Prince who's also in contact with Haitian authorities.
Got a news tip, or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comment section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, the Central Bank of the Bahamas holding its final quarterly review. We've got that story coming up. And later, a story you don't want to miss, an invasive species being detected right here at home. It's threatening your local fruits and vegetables. We've got more on that right after this break.
Hello, bonjour, hola, hello, ciao. No matter where your passport takes you, BTC roaming keeps you effortlessly connected. Enjoy seamless calls, lightning-fast data, and affordable roaming across the globe. No SIM swaps, no stress. Just one network, working everywhere. So go ahead, explore the world, and still be just a call away from home.
Fill up box for all $30.
The new KFC fill-up box, serving 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 buttery biscuits, crispy fries to share, and 12 premium original recipe KFC nuggets, all packed into one crave-worthy box. So dig in and do whatever the crunch you want with the KFC fill-up box. Only at KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Looking for insurance that fits your lifestyle and your budget? At Star General Insurance, we've got you covered. Whether it's motor insurance with flexible options for third-party liability and comprehensive coverage, or commercial insurance products that protect your business, we have choices you can afford. Own a home or renting? Our home insurance products have just what you need. And for the adventurers out there, we offer marine insurance too. Visit our website or social media pages for contact information and quotes. Star General, insurance made simple.
I worked hard every single day, from primary school into secondary school. My name is Darren Peckstock. I started to work at Atlantis as a space cleaner. Nobody could beat me. I took pride in my job. After that, I went to the UK to study law. I'm very proud of my work in the Senate, my advocacy for suicide prevention, my record in empowering young people, and also food security. I'm the chairman of the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation. I believe that it is important for us to feed ourselves. So I see that as a national security issue. The government has done a lot, but the reality reality is there is a lot more to be done. The cost of living is always increasing, and so to be able to bring down the cost of food will assist people in being able to eat properly. Investing in Bahamians is important, extremely important. It is about opening the door. People just want an opportunity. I am very result driven, and that is what Golden Isles will see me as.
Man, I've been at this for hours, wait, trying to find this bucket list bliss treasure everybody talking about. Finally, Miko, you still out here digging for treasure like you was pirates? You out here sweating like you fighting for your life? Only thing you doing is putting sand in my drink, Miko. Miko!
Good news! You don't have to dig for this treasure. Just apply and get approved for a BOB loan or credit card, and you're in to win a trip of a lifetime. Plus other great prizes like water park passes, restaurant vouchers, and VIP movie tickets. Get approved and you could be living large in Las Vegas, striking a pose in Paris, catching a cab in New York, twisting spaghetti in Rome, looking royal in London, or shopping in Panama.
X marks the spot, and it's right here at BOB. And don't forget to get a loan with my name too, because I'm gonna ruin Miko.
Apply today for a BOB loan or Visa credit card. Win the trip of a lifetime, plus weekly prizes. Email loans@bankbahamas.com.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker, $5.48 at Bold Esso. And Rubis tonight, you're getting the highest at Shell at $5.55. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, an invasive species has been detected in the Bahamas. Experts are warning tonight that it could threaten some of the nation's most beloved fruits. Officials are racing to contain the spread before it takes a bite out of our local agriculture. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has the details.
Your favorite fruits used to bring unique Bahamian flavor like limes, grapefruits, and oranges under threat as a new invasive species has been identified. Experts warn that the citrus caterpillar recently discovered at farmlands and in your local backyard gardens are at risk. Inspection Program Coordinator at the Bahamas Agriculture, Health and Food Safety Authority, Dr. Ezra Bartholomew, revealing that it's another blow as citrus crops across the Bahamas are already battling previous diseases. The added invasion, he says, signals danger.
So this is a new one, and this may be the final nail in the coffin for citrus.
The caterpillar already damaging citrus crops across Florida and Trinidad by reducing productivity and affecting the food chain. But how could it affect humans if the produce is digested?
It normally affects citrus when the fruits are already there. So of course the pesticides residues are going to stay on the fruits, and then of course when you consume it, they're going to pass on to you.
Now, BASFO officials say while the technology is in country to identify the species, experts warn this is not a wait-and-see scenario. Farmers are urged to take the necessary precautions to protect and preserve their crops. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Meantime, there's been an uptick in cane toad sightings. It's sounding the alarm of officials of its initial discovery some 6 years ago, posing a fatal risk to mostly animals and typically non-life-threatening injuries to humans. Experts are warning Bahamians to keep a close lookout for the invasive species. General Manager of the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute, Dion Gibson, providing these safety protocols for those who may encounter this amphibian.
They have now been seen on New Providence as far as, I want to say, Seabreeze area. Of course, there have been some developments in eastern New Providence as well, so they could have likely came from there. But for the most part, the central parts of the island don't really have any issues. A pitchfork or something long like a pitchfork, even a fishing spear, you could use that to try and kill it at a distance. If you're going to handle it, make sure you have on latex gloves, put the animal in a Ziploc bag, and then you can put it in the freezer, which is the humane way to euthanize reptiles and amphibians. And so that would be the best course of action. But if you're afraid, you can also throw a wet towel on them, and that'll stop them from moving.
Gibson is explaining tonight what draws the cane toads into residential communities, but also revealing how they made their way and continue to make their way to the Bahamas.
The cane toads, as you know, are an invasive species typically brought in through exotic plants, coming through Florida or even Central and South America. There have been some inspections in the past where we have seized entire container loads of plants because they were discovered. And these are the type of efforts that will be ongoing through the likes of BAFSA and the Department of Agriculture and Environmental Health whenever discovered. But the advice I would give to residents would be, as normal, be cautious if you have pets that live outside or feed outside. Don't leave the food outside, because we know that if those cane toads go to food because they're attracted to food sources, if their toxins get into that food, it could cause seizures and even death in small pets, dogs, cats.
On to news from finance tonight. The Central Bank of the Bahamas holding its final quarterly review for the year, discussing some key points that are impacting the nation's economic position as inflation numbers continue to develop. Our Delano Roker has the latest on this.
The central bank wrapping up its last economic briefing for 2025 with a hard look at inflation, consumer costs, and the outlook for growth. Governor John Roll noting that while price increases have slowed, the impact is still being felt in households across the country.
While inflation was mild, the potential persisted for near to medium term acceleration if external developments make imports costlier. The annual rate was negative in the most recent data for the first half of 2025, which means that there was a slight decrease in average prices compared to the same period last year.
Roll pointing to import tariffs as a major factor still shaping local prices, adding that government policy will continue to drive how quickly consumers feel relief.
The ongoing tariff policy adjustments in the U.S. could increase the imported inflation in the Bahamas in the near to medium term. There is still uncertainty, though, over where the final tariff structure would settle, and therefore the eventual cost that would be experienced by consumers based on pass-through from U.S. prices.
On the issue of diversification, the governor says expanding trade and investment partnerships remains critical to shield the Bahamas from global economic shocks.
We have the conversations about the Bahamas being able to have more direct imports of goods and services from other countries. That's really recognizing that if you do that, you're less exposed to the price variations that may be impacting the U.S. consumer markets and by extension, the Bahamian consumer market.
And with strong tourism numbers and steady foreign exchange inflows, the central bank is projecting a stable trajectory for growth heading into 2026.
The Bahamian economy is still expected to grow slightly above its medium-term potential in 2025, this year, and 2026, dominated by tourism and investment activities.
The central bank's final word: keep spending in check, stay strategic, and continue pushing for a more resilient, diversified economy. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Delano. Meantime, for residents in Cat Island, heavy rainfall causing some widespread flooding on Sunday. Some areas seeing water levels nearing 10 feet, leaving several homes severely impacted. Delano Roker has this update tonight.
What was first described as a passing cold front has turned into a major ordeal for residents of Cat Island. Many woke up to find their homes submerged beneath waist-deep water, which former district local government member Mike Holmes says the situation is unlike anything he's ever seen before.
No, we were surprised. From I was here, moved back home 7 years ago. This is the first time it ever happened. I live on a hill, and in my farm area, that water was raised high.
While residents in the capital continue to voice their frustrations over poor drainage in Pinewood Gardens, Nassau Village, and Coral Harbor, islanders on Cat Island are now facing not just property damage, but financial drains.
The persons are highly upset. Some persons lost their vehicles, damages in the vehicle, the houses, and they're not hearing nothing from the local authorities here, nor their representatives.
The District Council representative for Cat Island, Jeremy Smith, says water levels across the island have reached between 6 and 8 feet, cutting off access to communities.
In my area, I can say where I'm at, the water, this is going to take at least about a week and a half to subside because there's one drainage in my area. This is the ponds, all the ponds are connected. Between the airport and my house, it's underwater.
While flooding remains, Smith says he's ensuring immediate relief to affected families.
I'm using a little boat as well, and I was trying to locate and making sure that they have well supply of eating food items at the site.
Smith also confirms that communication with Prime Minister Philip Davis, who also serves as a member of Parliament for Cat Island.
The team would have been also liaising with the Prime Minister in reference to what was taking place and going on the island.
As the waters slowly begin to recede, residents here are left assessing the damage and hoping that this latest disaster will finally bring lasting change. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, Bahamas Power and Light Company moving closer to full restoration across the central and southeast Bahamas. Following Hurricane Melissa, crews are said to be working around the clock under some tough conditions to reconnect customers and rebuild those damaged power lines. And Exuma Power is nearly fully restored, with only a few flooded areas still waiting repairs on Long Island. About some 95% of customers are back online, with full restoration expected by Tuesday. Cat Island and Rum Key both have been fully restored. Over in Acklands, just 5 customers remain without power. In Spring Point, Crooked Island, fewer than 10 customers remain offline. In Majors Key, Maguana, and Inagua, there's been some full restoration. And in San Salvador, about 75% of consumers are back online, with extra crews said to be working to complete repairs by Wednesday. BPL also confirming power being restored to most telecommunications sites across the region, including Long Island, Crooked Island, Acklands, and San Salvador. The company is thanking its Family Island teams for their dedication and customers for their patience as final inspections continue. Still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, the U.S. Embassy making a generous donation to the Bahamas Red Cross. We've got the details on that coming up, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, at Shop Smart, at Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
Bahamas is all about Alpha Songs, 25 years of greatness. Kesty Band is going to be there to celebrate. You don't know.
Them just want to jump. Don't tell me about work in the morning. Unless we're talking hard work. Talking hard work. Talking hard work. Hello. And I feel like I just win $1 million. Ready to go, yeah. We go make them jump. We go make them jump. We go make them jump. Them just want to jump.
Miss Ocean, Yahweh, bless up.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau donating some $30,000 to the Bahamas Red Cross. It's to assist with some ongoing hurricane and disaster relief efforts across the central and southern family islands impacted by Hurricane Melissa. During a handover ceremony held Monday at the Red Cross headquarters, Bahamas Red Cross President Addison Sumner expressing gratitude for the support, noting that the funds will go a long way in helping families recover from the storm's devastation. The assistance will make a meaningful impact for those in need, he shared.
Stands ready to support our residents, our communities, our families in those islands who were impacted by this hurricane. Our early assessments have been done, and we are continuing with further assessments of the damages done in those communities, and we're expecting to get some further reports back in as the week progresses from our family island leads and certainly from our colleagues over at the DRMA and our family island Red Cross community, who are already beginning to supply us with their situation reports, damage assessment reports, to determine what is the extent of the damages that we are able to respond to. You provided the supplies that were provided, the support that you continue to give is not going to waste. These supplies are going to be provided to those who need them the most.
Well, the U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish describing the donation as a reflection of the strong partnership and enduring friendship between the Bahamas and the United States, adding that the U.S. remains committed to supporting Bahamian communities in times of crisis.
It's deployed a disaster assistance response team, or a DART, and they're sitting right over here with us, here to the Bahamas to help plan and implement relief efforts. The DART is an elite disaster response team that the U.S. government deploys to coordinate assistance with partners adversely impacted by disasters. DART is working in the Bahamas with relief organizations to make sure that those impacted get the right supplies when they need them most. And our team is working alongside Bahamian counterparts in the National Emergency Operations Center to coordinate assistance. One of the U.S. government's long-standing partners is with the Bahamas Red Cross. That is why today we have chosen the site to hand over relief items from the American people. We appreciate how the Red Cross helps people from communities across the country. It's a great example of Bahamians helping Bahamians, with the United States in a supporting role.
So to come in Eyewitness News, our Laurencia Smith has a check on sports right after this break.
Stop, man, stop. Boy, it's hot today, boy. Boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in there. Be
I can inside
I
there.
can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You can do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step out the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
Registering for the advanced poll? Listen up. 2 deadlines are looming. Overseas voters must apply by Thursday, October 30th. Special voters have until Thursday, November 6th. Who qualifies? An overseas voter is a Bahamian eligible to vote from abroad, like students studying overseas and certain government personnel posted outside the Bahamas, along with qualifying spouses and immediate family. A special voter is someone who may be unable to vote in person on election day, including those 65 and older, hospitalized or in a care facility, pregnant, or who have recently given birth, traveling or stationed overseas on election day, candidates and their spouses, election workers, and parliamentary registration employees. For the full list of who qualifies and how to apply, click the link in the caption or pause the screen. Don't miss your deadline. Apply for the advanced poll today.
All the favorites on special at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Cotton evaporated milk, 13.9 ounces, $1.09. Pearl Milling pancake mixes, 32 ounces, $4.99. Kellogg's giant-sized cereals, assorted, 23 to 28 ounces, $6.39. Russet potatoes, 5 pounds, $3.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.15 per pound. With savings in every aisle, you could shop with a smile at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Topping sports tonight, we're on the racetrack with Lennox Lockhart, who topped the Mount of Podium in the top 3 over in Vegas this weekend. In an electrifying display of speed and skill, Lockhart claimed 3rd place at the Rock Cup in Vegas, keeping fans at the edge of their seat. Over 15 intense laps, he crossed the finish line with a time of 11 minutes, 0.36 seconds, 0.881. The talented athlete has been turning heads all season, showing consistent performance, determination, and respect for the sport. Lockhart podium finish at the tournament adds another proud moment to an already impressive year on the track. Congratulations to Lennox. Now it is November and it is National Sports Month. The Ministry of Sports has a packed calendar of events to celebrate National Sports Month, kicking off on November 3rd with a month-long exercise program that will run Monday on Fridays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., featuring aerobics at the Kendall J. Isaacs National Gymnasium, along with free water aerobics and learn to swim classes at the South Beach pools. On November 7th, 6 new portraits, including one of Bahamian baseball star Jazz Chisholm Jr., will be unveiled at Legend Walk over at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. The National Sports Awards will take place on November 8th at the Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort. Leading up to the highlight of the month, the National Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony set for November 20th. Well, definitely stay tuned to Eyewitness Sports for the latest highlights from Sports Month. And finally, in sports, we're on the basketball court with the latest box scores from the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers center DeAndre Ayton is listed as questionable for tonight's game against his former team, the Portland Trail Blazers. Ayton is dealing with a back issue and may sit out according to NBA reports. The big man logged 17 minutes on the floor in Friday night's matchup against the Grizzlies before not returning due to back spasm. He finished with 9 points, while rookie VJ Edgecombe continues to show why he was selected third overall by the Philadelphia 76ers. Edgecombe finished with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals in 33 minutes of action during Sunday's win over the Brooklyn Nets, 129-105. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Lauren Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
We're learning, even playing, we're having lots of fun. We're working with each other until the day is done.
17 public junior high school students from New Providence, Bimini, Andros, and Exuma are set to battle in friendly competition during the second annual Ethan S. Bain Environmental Speech Competition in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training.
One of the best ways to inform, to educate, and to sustain good environmental practices is to get young people involved, particularly children in school. Get them involved in addressing our environment through speech contests and taking environmental topics and discussing those topics. And that is one way we hope to sustain our interest in trying to get people more aware of environmental services.
The Foundation's Executive Assistant Jade Pierce shares details of the upcoming competition.
The event will be held at C.C. Sweeting Senior High School on November 6th at 6 p.m. The event will be focusing on the title, It's My Environment. Conservation and sustainability are my responsibilities. We really want to see the creative capability of all the students as they deliver what they see the future of the Bahamas to be.
We need communities to take the initiative, and hopefully mothers and fathers and teachers and churches, all of them get involved, and we get other people involved, corporate sponsors, to help us spread the word. Our community, our environment.
Let's do just that. This is Ed Talk.
Ready to insure your ride? Our new website is ready for you. Visit jsjohnson.com. Select coverages, go to Motor, and click Get a Quote. We have made it easier than ever to request a quote online. Fill in all the required fields. When you're done, hit Submit. You'll receive a response via email within 24 hours. Visit jsjohnson.com today.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate-controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Monday, but coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, a full look at all of today's top stories. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Get moving and join us at IL Fit Fest. Saturday, November 15th at the University of the Bahamas playing field. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're talking a variety of fitness vendors, free health screenings, and $10,000 in giveaways. And for the kids, we have a kids zone. and entry is absolutely free. Don't miss the IL Fit Fest.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Are you ready, Bahamas? Get up, get moving, and join us at IL Fit Fest. Saturday, November 15th at the University of the Bahamas playing field. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're talking a variety of fitness vendors, free health screenings, and $10,000 in giveaways. And for the kids, we have a Kids Zone. And entry is absolutely free. Don't miss the IL Fit Fest.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza. Whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Are you ready, Bahamas? Get up, get moving, and join us at IL Fit Fest. Saturday, November 15th at the University of the Bahamas playing field. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're talking a variety of fitness vendors, free health screenings, and $10,000 in giveaways. And for the kids, we have a Kids Zone. And entry is absolutely free. Don't miss the IL Fit Fest.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, a question for you. How do you feel about the Chinese restaurant shut down for serious sanitary violations? Now opened right now, tonight. How were the corrective actions taken and what were they exactly? Also tonight, an uptick in cane toad sightings. We have some safety tips for you and your pets. This story has a lot of you talking. In fact, all weekend, the mysterious and unfortunate death of a 16-year-old student of St. Augustine's High School in Panama while representing the school. We get into it this evening. It's all straight ahead tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, a Chinese restaurant that was shut down by health officials for serious sanitary violations is open tonight after what authorities describe as corrective actions taken to address multiple infractions. Jose Etienne has the latest on the restaurant's reopening and what health inspectors are now saying about its return to operation.
That business did meet the requirements to open their doors again.
That seems to wrap up an investigation into the Farrington Road restaurant, which landed under scathing scrutiny over health and safety concerns. But the underlying issue here is enforcement. But Dr. Patricia Johnson, Director of Food Safety and Quality, says officials made the right call.
We want our consumers to be assured and have the confidence that these businesses are doing what they need to do to make sure that when they eat, they're not going to have a foodborne illness, or something even worse happen to them.
Let's address the elephant in the room. How often will inspectors pay a visit to this eatery to ensure its operators stay in line? That remains to be seen, as it seems to hinge on consumers speaking out.
If there is a complaint, we may go back. We have three types of inspections. We have the complaints, we have the annual, we have routine. So what we want to do is we want to get those complaints out of the way and we want to get those annuals out of the way. So we encourage people to register to get their annual inspection done. And of course, when the complaints come in, we work on those as well.
The Chinese restaurant is just one of several businesses that were dealt with by food inspectors who say they're carrying out an aggressive inspection exercise.
It's probably under 10. It's probably under 10. It's not anything more than that. But we would have inspected at least between 30 to 50 businesses. And like I said, it's a slow process.
Conch salad vendors are also on inspectors' radar.
Conch salad stands have been really an issue. What we have done, besides creating a lot of information pamphlets and making that available to vendors, when we go out on the road, and there are a lot of food businesses, there's over between 4,000 and 6,000, so of course it's a slow process. But whenever we go out, if the team has time, they do what we call a registration drive to get these businesses to register with us.
There you have that story. A lot of questions still really tonight on exactly what were these corrective actions? You see, because people are skittish. I spoke with some people who often ate there, and while some want to go and say, man, listen, if they cleared it, then let's eat. And others are saying, but cleared it of what? Now, I spoke with the reporter even moments ago who did the story, Jose Etienne, who said that there were just animals. That's how the officials said. Animals found around the property, on the property, issues with the roof. I guess overall cleanliness and overall sanitary conditions in the kitchen in particular where the food is prepared. I want to bring in the Hot Topics panel right there because by the looks of that, what we saw there that looked like it still was closed today, certainly that needs an entire facelift, and not just facelift. I'm talking external and internal. It needs, what do it need to do? First of all, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors Leslie Miller, Garth Roseborough, Michael Turnquest. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you all here.
Pleasure to be here. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Can you hear, Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Good to have you here. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the fact that this restaurant has been given the green light, the stamp of approval to reopen. By the looks of those videos captured earlier today, not sure if it is. However, the point is, though, I mean, could they have cleaned up from the ceiling and the roof to the animals found and the foul odor and all the rest of that in that amount of time? And then truly the question asked in the report, what is the maintenance and the inspection record and time? It can't be once a year.
Probably less than that. I am almost certain that one of the things that I've learned through my years is that as Bahamians, the one cleaning agent that is always in our home is bleach. And bleach has a way of sanitizing and making most environments smell quite hygienic. And sometimes you wonder when you go into some of these foreign owners, their food stores, and their restaurants, there's always that odor that feels as if something in there is dead. It's a very peculiar smell. And it happens in most of these foreign business people's establishments. And you wonder if this is a part of the code of the people that inspect these places, because I have stopped, Shanique Miller, eating at places like this from years ago. There are speculations, there are assumptions, people have rumors, but you could never say that they're not true just based on the smell. And so for those people who love these establishments, love this type of food, we know that you're excited tonight that it's open again. And you can have it all if you'd like, but as for us, we would like to see stronger health codes maintained in our country, please. But that's why you don't eat Chinese food.
Michael, I think you're muted. You're muted.
No, I'm not muted. I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Yeah. So Shanique, it's good to see that the Ministry of Health they're moving around. Like they said, there are many eateries throughout the Bahamas and New Providence especially. I think kudos to the health team in terms of making sure after getting complaints they go and do the necessary inspections. Anyone can be at fault in terms of certain infractions that may be required, whether it be not having proper pest control in place or contracts with various a reputable pest company to make sure there's no roaches running around in kitchens, or even just inside of the inside of the restaurant dining area. Also people say bleach kills anything. Bleach is also not always the best thing, especially when you're dealing with customers and having a strong bleach scent throughout an environment, and where customers inhale that. There's many other products out there can be used. I can speculate in terms of what they will close down for unless that report is revealed. We can speculate all day. When someone say animals, I'm hoping that we're not talking about dogs and cats as we normally speak to when we hear this particular nationality. But at the end of the day, it could be because of rodents, dead rodents found throughout an establishment. We've seen other businesses that would have had infractions like this sometime in the past. But there are things that you put in place and regular maintenance where you have either once every 2 weeks you have a reputable company coming in and putting down the rat. Once there's food, you're always gonna have things as it relates to rodents that you have to try and do your best and keep that routine maintenance in place, whether it be once every 2 weeks, a company coming in and setting the right traps, putting down rat paste, spraying for roaches to just keep those things away and ensure that, at the end of the day, the worst thing any restaurateur want to see is, a customer's coming in and a roach just pop out of nowhere. That's something that's, it's not unheard of, but, it's something that as a restaurant owner, you would definitely be, if you're not ashamed, then of course, you don't need to be in that type of business.
This is a situation that keeps occurring. Remember, just a year and a half ago, the Reef restaurant that many of us used to go and have our lunch, breakfast, dinner, closed down after they were shut down by Ministry of Health and Environment. It's a very serious problem that a paying customer would go into a restaurant and serve, I guess what you could call really, the best term you could say is garbage. What normally happens in these instances, if they would have fired one of the staff who would have been complaining about it, the staff would then go and call the necessary representatives to look into the matter. That's the case that most people, they would go along with it, the workers. But the Chinese make it a point. People always complaining that they believe that they're eating animals. I mean, rats, cats,
it's almost hysterical, like the president of the United States, Trump. Remember the election game with the Haitians eating the rats, the cats in Indiana, and all this other foolishness, right? But it is a national hazard that they should put a more effective team on the streets, throw the letting breath of our country, to see to it that what we are paying for is edible on a decent meal. Because let me tell you, it's difficult to get a decent meal except in the fast food restaurants. I'm tired of them. But they're the only place you can go to find, what they serve, chicken or hamburger. The small restaurants, you don't know what goes into there.
Yeah. Michael, you are in this industry. How often are inspections done?
Yes.
So of course, every year you have to apply for get a health inspection, as well as you get your employees. You send them, and they're certified by Ministry of Health. But I mean, sometimes Ministry of Health might just randomly pop up, and I think that's what's needed. That's what's needed, because at the end of the day, anyone can schedule a visit, and then all of a sudden they're all cleaned up and ready for an inspection. And then as soon as that health inspection leaves, everything goes to shambles.
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead. What you say?
No, I'm saying, anyone can be, can request a health inspector to come out. But that when you have things that happen, people are normally ready. They're all cleaned up, expecting someone to
exactly.
To
so
come
you
in.
should not request a health inspector. They, as you said,
Every
they should
3
just
months,
pop
every
up.
quarter.
Exactly, and not
Every
once
quarter.
a year either. Not once a year when your license is due.
They do randomly pop up, and they'll appear, and they said, we're here to inspect your kitchen, and you have to be ready to let them in. It's not come back tomorrow.
And Mike, looking at the exterior of the building, it looks to me like little or nothing has been done with the exterior. The parents is really not enlightening or enlightening. I don't see much being done there.
Yeah, and one thing I tell people in the business, I believe in what you present on the outside is key. I mean, at the end of the day, things like your bathrooms, your outside, making sure that's clean and clean and ready for people, inviting the people.
Exactly.
If the outside looks horrible, you can imagine what what a kitchen might look like.
Absolutely, and this is exactly the thought that comes to mind. An uptick in cane toad sightings have sounded the alarm of officials after its initial discovery some 6 years ago, posing a fatal risk, mostly to animals and typically non-life-threatening injuries to human beings. Experts are warning residents to keep a close lookout for the invasive species. Now, General Manager of the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, Tion Gibson, issued the safety protocols for those who may encounter the frogs.
They have now been seen on New Providence as far as, I want to say, Seabreeze area. Of course, there have been some developments in eastern New Providence as well, so they could have likely came from there. But for the most part, the central parts of the island don't really have any issues. A pitchfork or something long like a pitchfork, even a fishing spear, you could use that to try and kill it at a distance. If you're going to handle it, make sure you have on latex gloves, put the animal in a Ziploc bag, and then you can put it in the freezer, which is the humane way to euthanize reptiles and amphibians. And so that would be the best course of action. But if you're afraid, you can also throw a wet towel on them, and that will stop them from moving. The cane toads, as you know, are an invasive species typically brought in through exotic plants, coming through Florida or even Central and South America. There have been some inspections in the past where we have seized entire container loads of plants because they were discovered. And these are the type of efforts that will be ongoing through the likes of BAFSA and the Department of Agriculture and Environmental Health whenever discovered. But the advice I would give to residents would be, as normal, be cautious if you have pets that live outside or feed outside. Don't leave the food outside, because we know that if those cane toads go to food, because they're attracted to food sources, if their toxins get into that food, it could cause seizures and even death in small pets, dogs, cats.
So again, quite interesting and scary, especially for your pet. Gentlemen, I understand, I was speaking with Linton earlier, and he says that the frogs have made their cane toads have made their way from west. They're still in the west, but west to east. And you heard
How do they travel? How do they move?
I have no idea, but
Yeah,
they've made it to the
small
sea
creature.
breeze area. I thought what size are they? I was.
I would think they're probably about 6, 8 inches
6
at least.
inches, yeah.
They're huge, you know.
They're pretty good size.
They're huge.
They're the Florida, are they?
They're like spring chickens.
Yeah, but I've not seen them. Like I live in a swampy area like Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide, yeah.
And I hear frogs croaking. They almost sound like sheep or like goat at night. They're huge, right? But I've never seen them. And so, like Shanika's saying, for them to go from Adelaide, Clifton Pier area to Seabreeze out east.
How did they get there?
It takes me almost an hour to drive that far. So I try to figure what type of frog these is, man.
Maybe they catch a ride on vehicles.
Yeah, and then to the
That's
thing that
maybe
they're
going to be
attracted to food sources, I think as Bahamians, that's
Yeah.
one thing we need to pay attention to when we feed our dogs. I do it sometimes
put
too.
food outside,
We
yes.
leave the dog food outside. The dog may or may not eat the food, and these cane frogs will come and eat the pet food, as I'm
But are
understanding.
you saying that a frog eat dog's food?
That's what
It sounds like
to me.
it'll eat the food, any food,
Sounds like that's what it's gonna
any
eat.
kind of
Yeah.
food, and
I thought
attack the
frog
pet.
eat, flies and
No,
mosquitoes
not these ones apparently. And they would attack the pet as well, and then you
attack the pet.
Well,
Well, the
bite,
skin is poisonous.
yes.
If they bite, if a dog bites that frog, the toxins in the skin is actually poisonous to your pet, especially smaller pets that can actually kill them. So you have these little schnauzers, little poodles, and
Yeah,
those
yeah,
little toy dogs. Those are especially in danger. The larger dogs, like the pot cakes, they may get away with just a little bit of sickness.
They ain't killing no pot cakes.
Shanika, this thing is turning seriously into a problem. I think
Mhm.
it's something that's going to have to be addressed. Those people who are in this industry in terms of capturing this type of species, we got to find out how we can trap these frogs and just go ahead and just eliminate this issue. This has to be eliminated.
I agree. It does have to be. And the thing is, the Bahamas are so vulnerable because we import a lot. I remember with some palm trees some time ago, there were reports of poisonous and toxic snakes
that wasn't true.
coming in, and just so many other things can really enter our nation.
You know, we also have to keep in mind, you know, even our marine life, we're still battling the lionfish that, you know, that's invasive to the Bahamas.
Very invasive.
So everything's
Yes.
invading the Bahamas. What the heck's going on?
Yes, everything. Everything want a piece of paradise. But listen, when we
What
come
happened to
back,
snakes that they found in Apco?
well,
The poisonous snake. We had none but that since
again,
long time.
they're coming in through these exotic plants and whatnot. But when we come back, it's really a serious story that's still shaping up and unfolding in Panama, involving a 16-year-old Bahamian girl. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Are you ready, Bahamas? Get up, get moving, and join us at IL Fit Fest. Saturday, November 15th at the University of the Bahamas playing field. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're talking a variety of fitness vendors, free health screenings, and $10,000 in giveaways. And for the kids, we have a Kids Zone. And entry is absolutely free. Don't miss the IL Fit Fest.
2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
An investigation is underway into the death of a 16-year-old girl, Madeline Thompson, a student at St. Augustine's College, who died in Panama. While Bahamian authorities have not released an official cause of death, Panamanian officials say foul play has been ruled out. Laurencia Smith has the story.
Details surrounding the death of 16-year-old Madeline Thompson remains unclear. This after a suspected Panamanian news outlet reported that the teen fell to her death from the 27th floor balcony to the 12th floor. Authorities, however, remain tight-lipped on the death. Meantime, the tragedy leaves more questions than answers tonight, as officials say best efforts are being made to have the St. Augustine's College student body return home. She was representing the country at the first Global Robotic Challenge.
So in contact with our honorary council in Panama, who's spoken with Panamanian officials and who's spoken with the family.
Director General Ali within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs providing the media with the latest details, saying the ministry is working closely with event organizers and Panamanian authorities. Young Madeline was a parishioner here at St. Joseph Roman Catholic Church. She was described by the pastoral team as a kind-hearted individual who volunteered every Saturday in the church's soup kitchen. Now, yesterday, Mass was offered in her honor by Monsignor Alfred Culmer.
I was able to pray with her mother on Saturday in Panama, Shanique, and so we offer the Mass today for the family.
Ali did not provide a timeline for when Thompson's body will return to the country. She says she wants the public to know that the ministry is doing their best to assist the family while respecting them during this difficult time. She also emphasized that there is a due process that must be followed.
We have a death of a Bahamian national or somebody who's hospitalized. We go through official channels, so we go government to government, and we have strong ties with Panama. So in this case, it's easier. Sometimes it's more difficult when we don't have representation.
Now, the student body of St. Augustine's College held grief counseling sessions on Monday. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Gentlemen, I want to bring you all in. It's quite unfortunate, she was there. We saw the video of her representing St. Augustine's and as well as the Bahamas. And for this to happen, when I read it yesterday, I was stunned by it. And then, of course, as the story continued to unfold, it's not much we can say right now, but it's just quite unfortunate for how that happened. I imagine joyfully leaving the Bahamas to go and represent her school, and then that.
Oh boy.
It's a very sad moment. I'm from St. Augustine's College, and every time we lose one of our fellows soccer, we feel it. We actually do. We have a lot of pride at that school. The fact that she had the intelligence level, the knowledge and skill set to even explore something like robotics means that her future was incredibly
Very
bright.
Yes.
And to have lost someone of this nature, someone who would be able to go and have programs like SpaceX brought to the Bahamas in the future, take us into the technological age, digitalization, it can go on and on and on. This is the type of citizen that we are trying to groom and prepare our country for greater things. And to have lost this one, it really hurts Shanique Miller.
If anybody have anything, I can just move on with this, but our thoughts and prayers to the family.
Heart and prayers goes out to the family. You can just imagine her mother, I'm told, was in Panama at the time of the incident. Her father was here in New Providence, and you know, it's heartbreaking. I mean, you could appreciate a young 16-year-old going to represent our country on St. Augustine schools with her friends there, you know, on such a great educational mission for the future, and ends up in such a tragic accident. You don't know what to say except that may God rest her soul.
Amen.
May she rest in peace.
Condolences to her family.
Member of Parliament, we're going to shift gears now. Adrian White is facing public scrutiny tonight after a video of him went viral over the weekend.
Yeah.
The footage has drawn mixed reactions. Some are calling it troubling, while others dismiss it as being overblown. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story, and then we come back and give some thoughts.
Adrian White under the dirt off of his shoes onto a Progressive Liberal Party poster on Friday amid celebrations of the Golden Isles by-election nomination day. Critics across social media sounding off, questioning if the sitting MP actions were appropriate and warranted, and others noting it's simply disrespectful. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands acknowledging the criticism, but emphasizing with the current political climate at an all-time high, the narrative can be spun creating political mischief.
This was something that was on the ground. He made an issue of stepping on it. It certainly was no vandalism involved.
Now, it's not the first time White has found himself under heavy criticism in recent times. Back in April, on a local talk show, White deemed F&M voters as, quote, sensible, citing every constituency has voted F&M except for Angliston. Hannah Martin emphasized persons in the inner city constituency, which she represents, were offended and took it as they were not sensible. White sought to set the record straight, making it clear, quote, those were not my thoughts. White has not been the only political figure to find himself at the center of controversial actions. Back in 2012, then Prime Minister Perry Christie displayed a derogatory hand gesture, and recently leader of Coalition of Independents Lincoln Bean apologizing after publicly throwing out accusations against the character of F&M leader Michael Pintard. Chiming in, a reported front-runner for the Progressive Liberal Party candidacy for St. Anne's, Keno Wong, denouncing White's actions.
He sits in the halls of Parliament. He has demonstrated his cowardness by walking and stamping and using it as a what? A doormat.
The political hopeful telling Eyewitness News his choice to speak out is not for political brownie points, but to simply address the actions of those who were elected to serve.
It's not just a political aspiration situation. It is based on the integrity of an individual that we put in the halls of Parliament.
Previous PLP St. Anne's candidate Chris Saunders, whom White defeated, also condemning his actions in a Facebook post, calling it childish. Now, while Sands dodged Eyewitness News questions on if he believes White is right or wrong, he sent this message to his political colleagues.
We're not enemies. We're all being, we ought to be looking for common ground.
I'd like to know your thoughts. I mean, I certainly, if he had teared it down, perhaps put graffiti on it, then there would have been the problems. But I think he was just really being mischievous, seeing a sign on the ground and wiping his feet on it as to say his opponents, the sign of his opponents. Your thoughts on this and how this took its own sort of, the wind beneath this issue just took its own direction over the weekend?
I think what we see here is an effort for social media presence and brownie points. Everyone is turning into an actor. Everyone is performing everyone is seeking some form of attention in order to garner some type of support from the base of each party. This is what I call a base move. A base move means that you do what it takes to energize the base to make them feel as if you're in a position of victory. And so the mere fact that he saw the sign on the ground, he just basically took advantage of the opportunity to try to gain some type of favorability from the surrounding individuals as a base. The same antic was played when they threw the mace out of the House of Assembly.
Yeah.
You know that wasn't necessary. That had to have been planned. But it was something to once again energize the base. And so you'll see a lot of this type of activity, whether it's going to be caught on social media or mainstream media. These are the antics that are played during the times of election. I noticed that Darren Pickstock had a number of signs in Adelaide. They were every 15 feet. And by the time I got back there the following evening, there was only one sign left out of maybe some 40 or 50 signs. And so the game that is played, Shanique, at night, when everyone else is sleeping, is you remove the opponent's sign and you throw them away. And so you're going to see signs being torn down. As a matter of fact, I've sat in spaces where the conversation has already come forth that Darren Pickstock has these signs that are 8 by 16 and a good 6 by 6 posts. We can't wait till by-election is over so we can get that wood to put on our house.
That's true.
And the same thing happens for the F&M and the COI. You will notice as soon as the election is passed, or even before, those signs are coming down and someone is carrying them home. This is just the Bahamas and the way things are done, unfortunately.
You know, Shanique, we have this is not the first time, I'm sure, during the silly season, this isn't going to be the last time we see something like this. I think no matter what political divide you're on, is it right or wrong? Some might say no, some might say yes. I won't get into the back and forth of that. But one thing, leaders, political leaders, and those that are aspiring to be leaders, they always need to remember that they're under a microscope, and there are also people that either look up to them and expect and hold them at a different level.
Standard.
And I think and you've had mature political leaders who have stepped forward when they know they've made the mistake, and whether they apologize, and did the right thing by apologizing. But you have to always remember you're under scrutiny, and that that will carry you on for the life of once you're in frontline politics. But at the same time, one would say that all these signs you see all about the road, roads doing either an election or by-election. The one thing that we always realize after an election is that sometimes these signs never move. And, whether it be the paper signs, and then they become flying objects just flying around the road. And, this is one thing any political party that they need to always remember. It's easy to put signs up, but also remember when it's all said and done and the election is finished, remember to take your signs down.
I find the young man to be a gutsy little fella. He got little cojones, because in Parliament he did the same thing. And it didn't surprise me that he would have walked on it, because as far as he's concerned, this is a declaration of war. It's war against the F&M versus the PLP versus the COI, and this is wartime. So you try to destroy the warrior that's coming after you. I don't think he meant anything by it. It's he got caught up in the moment. His emotions was running high. The fans were there. So he decided to get some play. This is what I take of them,
That's right.
Walk on them. We can walk, we can walk on.
I think so too. I don't think it was anything. I feel anybody would have done something similar. Anyone would have. It's on the ground already, and so you walk on it, and you just happen to be captured, and you just make a post. It's your opponent.
I believe he knows a lot of fellas from the inner city, And he act like them sometimes, He act like a brother. Yes.
Thank you. I wish we had this photograph. I'll tell you this.
I love the guy.
Adrian. I don't think Adrian meant anything by that.
I know a lot of guys from the city.
Guys, I have to move. I will move this forward now. By the way, thank you to the Humane Society that sent. Now I have an idea for that cane toad looks. It is a big toad, tell you that. It's a big toad. Thank you very much, Humane Society. Still talking politics, though. The Davis administration is facing pressure tonight as political commentators say recent efforts in the constituency the governing party is hoping to keep on its side highlight how officials weaponize elections. This as the party's candidate also seemed to imply that those residents were in dire need of representation. Here's Jose Etienne with the story.
I am running because I am tired of people being ignored. That is why I'm running. I am tired of people calling for help and getting excuses.
Critics argue that the governing Progressive Liberal Party's by-election candidate, Darren Pickstock, was biting the hand that feeds him as he addressed scores of party supporters last week on nomination day.
I am tired of seeing our communities wait years for the simple things. A fixed street light, a paved road.
Perhaps the expectation was for Pickstock to laud the governing party's work while promising to build on what was laid out. But not only did he speak candidly, according to a PLP press release, he also spoke from a standpoint of accountability and responsibility. Critics might go as far as saying, though, that he inadvertently threw Golden Isle's former Member of Parliament, Vaughn Miller, under the bus, as residents have long expressed concerns about unmet expectations and neglect that now casts a shadow on Miller's legacy. For residents, it would be hard to not see the roads that have been recently paved in the area as a campaign pitch with a by-election on the horizon. Nonetheless, the candidate wants to prove why he says he's the right pick.
Next 24 days are everything. We've got to move like a family, like a team, Golden Isles. Every call you make, every door you knock on Golden Isles, every conversation you have, Golden Isles, it matters. That's how we're going to win this thing, Golden Isles.
But another overarching concern here is whether the Davis administration is weaponizing the upcoming by-election by using government machinery as a campaign tool, and whether the ongoing infrastructural improvements in Golden Isles could be scrapped if an opposition candidate wins.
We all remember what came before: neglect, stagnation, and cost of program that were helping Bahamians. The other side stopped. They reviewed and they cancelled, and the Bahamian families paid the price. We cannot afford to turn back now.
Those are relevant questions, given how the country's leaders spoke during the 2023 by-election, which ultimately swung in government's favor. Perhaps a scare tactic against the electorate.
Well, they should vote for him because, first of all, they'll not be voting for a voice that will be in opposition. They'll be voting for a voice that will have the ear of the government.
We want to work and support the people of West Grand Bahama, and they need an advocate that can call any minister of the government and have their phone answer on the first ring.
The by-election is expected to go down to the wire. The FNM's candidate, Brian Brown, is campaigning on his continued presence in the area despite losing in the 2021 general election. Pickstock is promising to address years of inaction with the support of government, and the Coalition of Independents is looking to take down both major parties. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, a lot has been made of that, the comments that Darren Pickstock made in terms of neglect. He says there's been neglect. He spoke broadly, but people say no, no, no. They kind of zeroed in that one word into Golden Isles. We'll talk about that when we come back. Was he referring to the former Member of Parliament, the late Member of Parliament? More in a moment.
The Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our number one industry.
We should not just say, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The Out Island of the Bahamas There are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing in saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital, but not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions related to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guides are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows those skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. 1 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Still on Golden Isles, as political tensions heat up in the Golden Isles constituency ahead of the upcoming by-election, Free National Movement candidate Brian Brown on nomination day called out what he says are tricks by the governing Progressive Liberal Party. Brown criticized the timing of recent projects, as you saw in that story just before the break, being undertaken in the constituency, noting it's a cry Golden Isles residents have had for years. And so why now, he asked, Brown pleading his case to the electorate, noting from his view, the option is clear for who would be the best representation, citing his portfolio and priorities for the community.
Now the PLP hopes you will forget all of that. They pick someone of thin air, someone who doesn't live here, doesn't know our struggle, and won't change a thing.
Amen.
He ain't loyal to Golden Isles.
No, sir.
He's loyal to Philip Davis and the PLP. He's just looking for his opportunity. He is campaigning straight from the PLP playbook. He show up before an election, pay a few roads, hang out for a few contracts, take a few pictures, and hope you forget their bad ways. The devil is a liar. Golden Isles is not for sale. I don't slap up. I work.
Amen.
And I have a plan.
Yes, sir.
When you send me to Parliament, I'll fight every single day to make life easy for families in Golden Isles.
Yes.
I'll push for better infrastructure, safer roads, reliable drainage, proper street lighting. I'll champion small business as we create real jobs right here at home. I will work with our police. I will work with our churches and civil society groups to make Golden Isles safer for our children and families.
Yes, sir.
And I'll fight for better health care, education, and the social support, not just for some, but for everyone.
Okay, gentlemen, there it is. The BC, of course, we saw a moment ago, the PLP's candidate in the Golden Isles by-election, and now the Free National Movement's candidate in the Golden Isles by-election, both speaking quite spirited about exactly the direction they're headed in and the direction they want to move the Golden Isles constituency in. Your thoughts on what we witnessed just a moment ago? Of course, this was from Friday, but I take leads oftentimes from the newscast before me. And so your thoughts on what both men had to say?
Yeah, both men are spirited, and I'm only jumping in because I know time's against us. But
yes.
As you look at both individuals, the question that comes to mind would be, are we selecting based on leadership, based on party, or based on the contribution of both candidates? As of now, Brian Brown has been on the ground for 8 years. He has been working. His office has never closed. But Darren Pickstock has now shown up and done some miraculous things in terms of paving roads, visiting some families, fixing some homes, and basically he's answering the call of Golden Isles at this particular time. Here is what's happening, Shanique Miller. When the by-election happens on November 24th, one or two things is going to happen. If the Progressive Liberal Party candidate wins and he continues to do the work that he's now doing, he has to maintain that momentum up until the general election, which means that the people of Golden Isles will benefit from all of the infrastructural changes in Golden Isles. If Brian Brown wins this month, then it simply means that we will have to wait until the general election for his effectiveness in terms of this level of injection that we're now getting from the Progressive Liberal Party. And so we have to make a decision now. Do we benefit now and possibly later, or do we simply stop the benefit now and hope to get the benefit later? This is the conversation that we're now having. This is what Golden Isles will have to figure out. As for the COI, we're just watching them just to see, you know what, you're there, maybe you'll be a game changer in this one, but until then, it is what it is.
You know what the senator mentioned in terms of Golden Isles being neglected. It almost seems as though it's coming from I would say he's referring to the former MP, and I know the area somewhat because I would have whether it be assisted the community because of business relations in the area, and I know the current MP to do working in the community in terms of doing cleanups and things that he would have done whilst he was, in power and alive. They say a dead man can't talk. At the end of the day, was he given the resources to put into Golden Isles? I'm pretty sure the only thing that he had was his campaign, not the campaign, but the yearly funding that's funded by the government. And Golden Isles are very big areas. That can only go so far. One would then say it's very interesting that, and I heard the gentleman earlier say that, with this, it's one thing to do. We need to stop treating Bahamians as if they are pawns, because you can't just do something right before election and then after maybe you select that person, then a year or 5 years go by and the area is left basically like a ghost town again. So Bahamians are now not falling for the antics as it relates to we Bahamians are due. If once you're elected, you should be working for your people every day, not right before election, 2 years before election. Where they'd be going to Parliament and telling, I don't care if it's the Prime Minister who governs your party, that hey, my people are down there suffering. I need roads paved. I need it's flooding in Coral Harbour that's been affecting Coral Harbour for years. There's a lot of things that happens inside throughout the communities in Golden Isles, and these are things that we need to stop playing the politics, because at the end of the day, I don't think that. Yes, okay, if you could select Darren Pickstock, yes, there's some things that are going to happen between now and November, and maybe before the general election, but what happens after the general election? This is where we need to stop both parties. We need to stop playing with Bahamians.
But Michael, we already know what happens after general elections. We already know this. The situation is that because of the by-elections, we're now getting this attention. You recall that the previous minister was also a Free National Movement member. What was done right before that election that was so significant? There was nothing significant when he was at FNM.
I'm speaking party politics in general.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm saying, so right now the benefit belongs to Golden Isles, and as we are benefiting, we will make a decision based on the benefit now and a possible benefit before the general election. Because we know after general election, what normally happens, we don't normally get any attention at all. That's what we're saying.
You know, I will always defend my friend and brother, late Warren Miller. Let me say, over the last 4 years, I had the privilege of working very closely with him, Dave and I. His area is one of the cleanest areas in New Providence. He did a lot. He stopped the coal burning that was being done in that area. He got rid of the slums that were causing serious problems for the residents in his area. There were migrants that went down there and built houses without approvals.
The shanty towns.
Shanty towns. He cleaned them up.
The swimming base.
Let me say too that people must remember, including the good gentleman who is running in his seat now as a PLP. Warren Miller was a member of the cabinet. Warren Miller made requests, and his cabinet colleague, the Minister of Works, to have those roads done. And he's putting pressure on them to have it done. Now, obviously, because of the by-election, it's going to be done now. But you know, I don't want you to try to degrade my friend or to say that this was done because of you. It was done because the government decided it will be done and because there's a by-election. Okay, but Warren Miller would have been the one who would have made those requests. For you, you're getting a break because it's being executed while you are there trying to be the next MP for Golden Isles. But you know, I would hope that you all don't go on this wicket of trying to degrade the contribution that he would make on behalf of people. He's the only MP in the last 30 years that was able to win 2 straight under the FNM government and under the PLP government. That speaks for the type of person he was, a Christian man, a family man, and one who had love in his heart for Bahamians everywhere. And I will always defend him as long as breath is in my body. That's all I have to say right now.
And that's why I say, you know, let's not be disingenuous to a man who can't speak on behalf of himself.
No, okay. Well, I'll speak for him, and I will defend him at every time.
Gentlemen,
like I said, I'm familiar, and I know the cleanups that took place.
Decent human being. Yeah. Nothing but love in his heart for everybody. And he doesn't go and brag about what he did. He just did it. You know? So let's just keep it right there right now.
Gentlemen, I thank you all very much. Of course, I want to get to tomorrow evening. A part of what that show is going to look like is a situation that's broiling off mainland Exuma. The Rosewood Exuma Resort, really, ground was broken over 2 months ago, and that's all that ever happened. Why? Because that fight between foreign investors, one of whom doesn't want the project to move any way forward, exactly, is trying to stop the other one who wants to hire over 200 Bahamians and empower them and help make jobs and business happen. And so that is happening there. It's now an injunction, so the resort has not moved one step since they picked up the sand and tossed it over. Nothing has happened. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, but I want to thank all of you. Of course, Leslie Miller, Garth Rosborough, Michael Turnquest for being here this evening. We had quite an interesting and big mix of topics this evening. I thank you all very, very much for being here. I also want to say a big thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening. Thank you so much for hanging out. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited,